Hi, good evening, all of you guys. Hope all of you can hear me. Yeah, guys, can you please confirm is I'm audible, guys?
Yes, Vamsi, you are audible.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for the confirmation. Right. So, guys, let's continue from the last discussion, guys. The last session, where I have been given some basic understanding about what is data science, like what is machine learning, what exactly we do it in the machine learning, so that we can get some understanding about what we are planning to learn. We didn't started with any learning, actual learning procedure and the actual learning process, but we are trying to understand what exactly we are learning and why exactly, what exactly the reason why we are learning this particular data science actually, guys. Okay. So hope all of you have attended the previous class, guys, the previous yesterday's session. Anybody is there, guys, who has been joined for the today's class? If today is your first class, Yogesh, I think yesterday you joined. Shashank, right? Yeah. Vijay Shanti, I think yesterday. Like I can see some Ankit. Ankit, have you joined today or yesterday? Ankit Verma. Bhargavi. Yeah, Bhargavi, is today is your first class or have you
Yeah,
joined
sir.
it?
Today only,
Today,
sir. Class.
today only.
Yeah,
Okay, no worries.
I joined yesterday.
Okay, okay, fine, right. Okay. So I think a couple of people may be there who has been joined for the today's class. So
Yes.
no worries. Yeah. Yep. Yes, somebody? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. Right, guys. Okay. So let's continue, guys. So yesterday we have been just in the same, which I can show you there, like whatever I have been discussed in yesterday's session. So we have been got discussed. So from my side, I have been got discussed about that. Like, so I told you about data science is going to be like our course is going to be a full stack data science. So where we are going to be learning the various technology, better to say that a various techniques we are going to be learning actually. Our main intention to learn all these data science courses is going to be, guys, a simple procedure, a simple process. So there is some data is there. We have to get some insights from the data actually. Getting the insights from the data. For that, we are going to be using a various techniques we are going to discuss. We are going to learn a various process, a various methodologies we are going to learn. So yesterday I have started with one of the basic functional, a basic concept called as a machine learning actually, guys. So what is machine learning and what exactly the machine learning is going to do? So that is the one thing we have been got discussed about that. Like, as I said that we are taking the help of the machine to learn from the particular data. We are taking the help of the machine to understand the particular data. So after understanding it, we can do some kind of a prediction. That is what exactly we have been discussed about the machine learning in the yesterday's discussion, guys. So just once again, recollect once, just once again, if the guys who has been missed yesterday's class. So just to make you understand, so machine learning is one of the technique which we are going to use it in our data science, guys. So it was started around in 1959 by a person called as an Arthur Samuel, who was working in IBM. At that time, he has started this particular concepts of the machine learning. So according to Arthur Samuel, what is machine learning definition is, we are giving the machines the ability to learn without any explicit coding. So without having any explicit coding, we are giving the ability to the machine to learn by themselves without writing any much explicit coding actually, guys. So for that, I told you one small example also. Like in a banking application, the banks are giving the loans to various customers. But to whom the loan should be approved, to whom the loan should not be approved, will be decided by the machines. Will be decided by the machines actually, guys. Machines will tell you can give the loan to this particular person, okay, or you cannot give the loan, it should not give the loan to this particular person, something like that the machines are going to say. Then how the machines come to know that, or how the machines came to know that we have to give the loan to should not give the loan? They studied the past customers data. They identified some kind of a patterns. So there is going to be some kind of a patterns. Every data is going to tells you some story. There is some story in the data, there is some pattern in the data. So based on that understanding, it identifies So like defaulters are having, most of the defaulters are in the age of something like 30 to 35 years of age, who are earning less than 50K and who are taking a loan more than, which is going to be 5 lakhs. Something it will understands the data and it is going to analyzes the data and it is going to get some kind of an insights. Based on that particular insights, the machines are going to decide whether to give a loan or whether not to give a loan to a particular customer. Okay. So yesterday I have been got discussed about a few points about the machine learning. So today I'm going to talk about a little bit more discussions about this particular the machine learning concept. I'm going to start with that, guys. Okay. So anyone, guys, any questions before starting the discussion? If you have any questions, you can feel free to discuss. I can just have a I can just take up your questions and then I can go ahead actually. Anyone, guys, any questions from your side? You can unmute yourself and you can speak if you want. Otherwise, there is a chat window is there. Even by using the chat window also, you can post your questions. Right. So I think no one is having any questions from your side. So let me go for the discussion, guys. So today's discussion is going to be, guys, like which is going to be the technical. That means yesterday I told you, like yesterday I explained that data was given to the machine. The data was given to the machine. Machine is going to understand the data and it is going to get some kind of an insights. And based on the insights, we are going to be doing some kind of a prediction is going to be gets done. I told you some example, understand the past customers data. So based on that insights, you can decide to whom I have to predict, to whom I have to give the loan, to whom I should not give the loan. Can you predict it actually? Same as it is. I told you a number of examples, emails. So predicting whether the email is a spam or a ham is going to be one of the machine learning algorithm actually, guys. So many examples we can talk about that. We'll discuss about those applications later. Right. So today's discussion is, guys, if data was directly given to the machine, machine is going to studies the data and machine is going to give you the insights. So if based on the insights, if prediction is going to be done, then what is my role as an ML expert? So here my role is going to be nothing but a machine learning expert actually, guys. There are different roles are there. I'll tell you in a data science, when you go to the data science project, there are going to be different types of roles will be there. So as an ML expert, what is going to be my role? What is mainly my activities which I have to perform it actually, guys? So to make you understand like what is machine learning means, it is something like growing a plant. It is going to be nothing but just like how the plant grows, same as it is, I can say that an ML, a machine learning application is also going to be the same thing. Like whenever we talk about the growing a plant, that means what we have to do actually with our instructions, plant does not grows. That means I can't decide on what day the plant has to grow and what day that particular the flower has to be, it has to be grow a flower. Okay, so or when it has to stop growing, it is not decided by ourselves actually. Only thing we are going to do is give a proper environment. So every day, so plant grows, but when it is going to grow, every day if you put some water to that particular plant, give some sunlight, then automatically the plant is going to grow. That means we are just only creating the environment for the plant to grow. Same as it is, as an ML expert, what is our role is nothing but, guys, we have to just create an environment. We have to just create an environment where the machine learns, where the machine is going to be learns. Machine learns, but only thing is we have to just create some environment. Whatever the stuff the machine requires to learn, all that stuff we have to prepare it actually. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you about the technical aspects actually, guys. Just what are the different techniques we have to utilize or we have to learn, all those things I'm going to tell you. Okay, if you have any questions, guys, feel free to discuss with me. Right. So first one actually, guys, the machine has to be fed with some data. The machine has to be fed with some data actually, guys. But from where the data is there, from where the data has to come, the machine does not know. So as a machine learning expert, one of the first requirement is, guys, you should know how to collect the data. How to collect the data, because data is not going to be found only in a single storage. The data is not going to be found only in a single type of a storage or not in a single format of storage. It is not available. So the first expertise, the first technique which we have to learn is, guys, it is going to be a data loading. So don't think that data loading is a very simple technique actually, guys. Nowadays, we are having a multiple different types of storages as came. So each storage will have a different issues. Each and every storage is going to require a different skill sets are going to be required actually, guys. So as part of our course curriculum, guys, as part of our course curriculum, we are going to learn how to load the data from different storage modes. Like different storage modes means mainly the examples actually, guys. What are the different modes of storages actually, guys? Like, first of all, we are going to learn which is going to be file based. It is going to be a file based storages actually, guys. What are going to be the file based storages, guys? They can be something like an either CSV files, Excel sheets, or it can be something like a JSON file, or it can be something like an XML file, or it may be a SAS file, or it may be SPSS, etc. is going to be there, guys. So many are there. Okay, even some kind of an Parquet files are going to be there. There are different types of storage formats are there actually, guys. So as a machine learning expert, simply don't think that if you know machine learning, that is not sufficient, guys. We have to know how to collect the data, because the data resides in different formats, a different storages, a different styles. We have to understand it. So first one is a file based storages, guys. Then it is going to be, the other one is going to be like we are having some kind of an databases actually, guys. Nowadays we are having different types of databases, like SQL based databases are there, and there are going to be no SQL databases. What we are going to call it as NoSQL databases are also there, guys. So maybe all of you guys has been, you may be having the idea like what are the different types of database systems we have. Like we have a very popular databases like Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, or we are having a DB2, or we are having a database like a MySQL, etc. We can talk about them, guys. And whenever these are all comes under the SQL based databases, guys. Whenever we want to talk about NoSQL kind of databases, we are having something like which is going to be MongoDB, or we are going to be having something called as an Cassandra, or we are having a databases like NoSQL databases like HBase. These are going to be some of the NoSQL kind of databases, guys. So we are going to be using at least one for each category. We are going to learn it actually, guys. So file based storages we are going to use, and database systems, from database systems how to collect the data, how to load the data from a database system. And one more thing is most popularly we are going to be using, guys, which is going to be nothing but which we can say a kind of an cloud storages actually, guys. Nowadays most of the companies are preferring to move towards the cloud storages. Instead of storing in some database systems or storing in a file based, they are preferring to go for a cloud based storages actually. Like we are having a different type of cloud storages, like we are having some kind of an Azure, or it may be AWS, or it is going to be the Google Cloud Platform, etc. we are going to be using. So different type of formats we have it actually, guys. We uses some kind of a cloud storages we are going to use. So mainly as a machine learning expert, mainly we have to require these three different type of skill sets actually, guys. That means getting the data from a file, maybe it may be CSV, Excel, JSON, etc. Getting the data from a database system, like it may be Oracle, SQL Server, etc. Or from some kind of a cloud storages, like we are going to be using Azure, AWS, or GCP, one of the cloud storages, what we are going to use it. So don't think that getting the data from a database system is a very easy. Getting the data from a file, a CSV file is a very easy. There are different issues will be there actually, guys. A different issues are going to be there actually. So how to handle those kind of an issues is what as a machine learning expert has to do it actually. Okay. So the first skill, the first technique which we have to learn is, which is going to be, we'll start with the data loading. Directly we don't start with data loading, but for that, what are the prerequisites, what are the main skill sets we have to require, all these things we'll have a look into that actually, guys. Okay. Then what is the second step actually, guys? Who is going to do this data loading? This cannot be done directly by the machine, guys. Machine can't do it directly. Everything has to be done by the user. Machine will only learn, but to make the machine to learn whatever the environment that is required, as a machine learning expert, we have to prepare it actually, guys. We have to create it. That is the first one, what we are going to call it as data loading. If you have any technical discussions, guys, feel free to discuss with me. Okay. If you have any questions, you can discuss with me. Next, the second one is going to be, guys, as I said that if you feed the data to the machine, machine can learn from the data. Yes, machine can learn from the data. But before feeding the data to the machine, first of all, we have to check it out. We have to check whether the data is in a proper format, such a way that the machine can learn, or whether that particular data is sufficient to make the machine to learn. That means, first of all, we have to do a basic data analytics is what we have to do it actually, guys. First, we have to do how to data into the machine. Yes, how to do the data into the machine means, first of all, before giving to the machine, we are loading the data. Okay. So like, for example, to perform the machine learning, I'm going to be using some kind of a Python I'm going to be using. Let us say that. So first of all, what we have to do from that particular file, first of all, we have to import, we have to load the data into the Python first of all. So Python provides you some kind of a features or some kind of a data structures to hold this particular data actually. So we are going to learn how to load the data. From where you are going to load the data? From the file, we are going to load the data into a Python application. We are going to load it actually. Okay, so we are going to be, that means directly we are not going to give it to the machine here now. First of all, we have to load the data. After that, we are going to feed it to the machine actually. Okay, so that is nothing but we are importing the data from the file to a particular object in a Python. We are going to store it, whether it is a Python or whether it is a R, whatever we use. First of all, we have to import. Using that, we are going to load the data into some of the objects of Python or some of the objects of R, what we are going to do that. Right? Okay, fine. So first we have to load the data. So machine means here, machine means your computer. Okay, how you are going to computer, you are going to load the data. So you will use a Python or R and we are going to load it into the Python. The Python is going to be executed on my system actually, right? Okay, next one actually, guys. Before feeding the data, first of all, we have to analyze whether the data is in a proper format, which will help the machine to learn it, or is that particular data is in a proper structure so that the machine can learn. That is nothing but we have to perform some basic data analytics we have to do, guys. We have to do a basic data analytics is what we have to do, guys. Basically, we are going to call it as what we are going to call all this process as an EDA. So what is this EDA stands for? EDA basically stands for, which is going to be what we are going to call it as an exploratory data analysis. EDA stands for exploratory data analysis. That is what we are going to call it as a data analytics. So there are going to be a few techniques are there. Some mathematical and statistical techniques are there to analyze your data. There are different type of statistical numbers are there, which I'll show in the later application. Guys, in our actual classes, we'll see them. So with the help of what type of analytics we are going to do? Basically some maths and statistical techniques, guys. There are some maths and some kind of which is going to be some statistical numbers are going to be there. Using them, we are going to do some part of EDA. We are going to do that. So once if you do the EDA, guys, who is going to do this data analytics? That is also going to be done by the user. Machine can't directly learn it from itself, guys. There is a lot of inputs that has to be provided by the user. So first of all, we have to collect the data. Then we have to analyze the data. We have to do some basic analytics, not complete analytics. Some basic analytics, we have to do that. Once if you do some basic analytics, we'll understand the various issues in the data set actually, guys. Some issues will be there, guys. I'll tell you. There is going to be some kind of an issues like which is going to be, what are the issues actually, guys? Sometimes the data is going to be missing data. And there are going to be some kind of an outliers. So these are going to be a really a big headache for the machines actually. Due to that, what will happen? Either machines does not learn or machines are going to learn wrongly also. That's why we have to find out, is there any missing values are there? Is there any outliers are there? If they are there, how to handle those things? That is what we are going to call it as a data cleansing technique actually, guys. It's very simple. It's a data cleaning, or simply we call it as data cleansing. Who is going to do this data cleansing? That is also going to be done by the user only. So that means I'm preparing it actually, guys, whatever the environment that is going to be required. So I have to prepare all that environment. I collected the data. I done some basic analytics. I find out some issues with the data. So I have to clean up that particular data, which we are going to call it as data cleansing. In data cleansing, what we are going to do actually, guys, same thing. We are going to be handling the missing values. Okay. So if you want, you can check it out, handling the missing values, or what we are going to call it as the outliers. All these are going to be comes under the data cleansing operations actually. Okay. So data collection, data analytics, and which is going to be data cleansing. And one and the most important skill every data analyst or a data scientist is required, guys, which is going to be a data visualization. It's a data visualization actually, guys. So you know what is meaning of a data visualizations? With data visualization is nothing but converting our data into a visual context actually, guys. Why do you require a data visualizations? Sometimes we cannot understand the data properly whenever I see the data in a normal values and a text format. So whenever we see the data in a visual format, we can understand the data very easily. This is one of the main important skill, guys. Compulsory, everybody has to have a complete expertise on the data visualizations. Maybe some of you get a doubt. So data visualization means, are you going to learn any tools like Power BI, or are you going to learn anything like which is going to be Tableau? No, guys. We are not going to use any kind of a tools as of now. That means as a beginning, as an expert in data visualization, we don't use them. Then how can you do that? All these are going to be provided with some Python libraries are there actually, guys. There are going to be some kind of a Python libraries. Everything is done by the Python, guys. Data collection, we do by the Python. Data analytics, we do by Python. Data cleansing, we do by Python. Data visualization, we have a Python. Some libraries are there, guys. Examples I'm telling you. Like we are having a matplotlib. We are having a library called as Seaborn. We are having a library called as Bouquet. So many are there actually, guys, etc. etc. That is what we are going to do that. Who is going to do this? It is also going to be done by the user. Why we have to do the data visualization? To understand the behavior of the data, or to understand the more about the particular data, sometimes we cannot identify the patterns. We cannot identify the trends. We cannot identify the relations. Convert all the textual data into which is going to be a visual format, which is what we are going to call it as a data visualization. But anyhow, in the later classes, I'm going to discuss, I'm going to give you, I also handles the trainings on Power BI classes sessions also actually, guys. Actually, before your class, we have a Power BI session is there. Even I was an expert in the data visualization by using Power BI. So not in depth about the Power BI, but at least I can spend a 1 week of time to make you understand, to learn, to become an expert in the Power BI. That is in the end sessions. But initially, we are going to be learning all these things by using some kind of a Python libraries, guys. So once again, data collection, data analytics, data cleansing, and data visualization. All these are done by only by the user only. So I am loading the data. I am doing some basic analytics. I am cleansing the data. I am trying to do some data visualizations. All these are going to be done by the user by himself. These are all the machine learning expert has to perform. So as a machine learning expert, we have to know how to collect the data, how to analyze the data, how to clean the data, and how to visualize the data. These are the first basic 4 skills that a machine learning expert is going to be required actually. Right? Fine.
So Vamsi, I have a couple of questions, please.
Yes.
So
go ahead.
You have mentioned these four
Mm,
steps, the
mm,
data
mm,
loading,
mm,
analytics,
mm,
and
mm.
visualization. And
Yes, yes, yeah.
so are we, are these the same for all three? Because databases are different than the file, and the cloud storage is a totally different animal. And
Mm,
my uh, second question is that
mm.
what kind of simulation or what kind of hands-on will be doing with all these three formats
Yes,
during
yes.
the
Okay.
course?
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. See, whether you are importing, loading the data from a file, loading the data from a database, loading the data from a cloud storage, maybe the process of loading the data may be different, but once the data was loaded into, for example, I'm using Python. Once if you load the data into the Python, whether you import the data from a file, whether you import the data from a database system, or whether you import the data from cloud storage, anything is going to be what we are going to call it as a data frame. That means whatever may be the storage from wherever the data will come. So once it comes to Python, it is going to become a common structure called as a data frame. So whenever we are doing any analytics part or cleansing or a data visualization, that does not matters from where the data has been came. Why? Because all these are going to be performed on the data frames only, what we are going to do that. Okay, so whatever from wherever the data is going to be coming, finally the analytics, cleansing, visualization, machine learning, everything remains the same. Only the thing is the source of the data is going to be changing. But once the data was loaded, remaining process is going to remain the same. So there is no difference like how do you analyze the data whenever the data come from a file, or how do you visualize the data whenever it is coming from a cloud storage. Is it different? No, everything has to come into the Python only in a format of data frame, and after that we are going to be working with them. Okay, so that is your first question. And second question is going to be how we are going to do all these hands-on. Yes, absolutely, we are going to perform all these on by using some hands-on practice. The completely on the hands-on only we are going to do that. Why? Because nowadays we are having so many online resources to get a lot of public data sets are there. So that means that whenever you want to, so you need not to prepare the data by yourself. If even if you prepare it also, how much data you are going to prepare? So very small size data sets only we can prepare it. But how about the real time data? Let us say that I want to do some bank database is required. I want to know how the bank data is going to be there. But I don't have the access to bank data because I'm not working for a bank. Then how we can get it? There are a lot of public data sets are available. So I can show you some few online resources for the public data sets. Mainly, I'm going to be using one of the online resource called as, that is UCA machine learning repository. So from here, you can get all your data sets. These are all the data sets, whatever the real data sets which are contributed by many experts and many, it's going to be domain experts and business people. They contributed the data actually. See, there are going to be 622, which is going to be data sets. We have it actually. So once if you click on here, we can get the data sets. So different areas, different domains, we are going to be having the data actually. See, so we have a different type of data sets are there. Do you want to have a data sets of life sciences? Do you want to get the data from something like a social sciences or business data sets, whatever you want to get it? For example, I said business data sets. So you can see the bank marketing data set is going to be there. Okay, or some other data set, which is going to be some kind of a credit approval data set is going to be there. So default of the, which is going to be default of the credit card clients, which is going to be gets available here now. Like that, we are going to be having a multiple data sets are available. All these are real data sets, but public data sets. Same as it is, we are having some more online resources are there, which is going to be one of the a very popular platform actually, guys, which is going to be Kaggle. So from this particular Kaggle also we can get the lot of data sets. A lot of competitions are going on. A lot of discussions are going to be going on. You can submit your code. You can contribute it also. We can do that. And even we can do some kind of a notebooks, just like a LinkedIn. See, nowadays, whenever we apply for a job, maybe the HRs or the companies are asking, tell me what is your LinkedIn ID, or what is going to be the LinkedIn profile. Can you share your LinkedIn link? Same as it is, whenever the people works on data science, so there are going to be, nowadays companies are also asking, tell me your Kaggle, what is going to be your Kaggle account? So this is going to be my Kaggle account actually, guys. My account is there, I can share it. Okay, so this is going to be my Kaggle account. I can share my Kaggle account and my profile, and I can all these things, I can share it actually. So I have some account is there. So once they click on that particular account, automatically what they can do is they can get all that information, like what I contributed, how much usage I have been got done, all these things we are going to be having about this actually. Okay, so there are multiple resources we are going to be having. There are multiple resources we are going to be having to work with that particular data sets. Okay, so that is the way which we are going to be doing some kind of an hands-on practice on this particular different data sets. But most of the data set that are contributed are available in the file format. But if you want, I can upload the files into some database systems. I can show that I can upload these files into some kind of cloud storages, and we are going to work practically on the cloud storages, on the database systems, and on the file-based systems also. We are going to work with them, right?
Thank you.
So yeah, is it fine? So is there any
Yes,
fine? I
yeah,
think on
that's great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Right, guys. So this is going to be, yes, the data loading, the data analytics, data cleansing, and the data visualization. Once all these basic, the work is over, now we'll confirm that, yes, the data is ready for machine learning. That means the machines can start learning from the data. That is what we can do it actually, guys. Now, okay, this is not actually, it may not be clear now, but later in the coming classes, we are going to understand it actually, guys. That is, what we are going to do is, which is going to be what we are going to do is, what we are going to call it as, guys, this is what we are giving some kind of a training. So machine is going to be learning, guys, right? Machine is going to be learning, but which is going to be what we are going to say is, the machine has to be given some kind of a training. Once the machine has been given the training, then automatically the machines will start learning it actually, guys. That is what we call it as learning from the machine perspective. And from the user's perspective, what we are going to call it as in, we are going to be giving some kind of a training to the data model. So what we are going to do is training the model, actually the training the machine learning model actually, guys. This is where the machine is going to learn. This is the step where the machine is going to learn actually, guys. That is technically, there are multiple names are there. Training the machine learning model, that is where the machine is going to learn. But how the machine is going to learn? It does not learn automatically by itself, actually, guys. With the help of something called as a machine learning algorithms, the machines are going to learn. This is the step where the machine is going to learn actually, guys. But we have to specify some basic inputs, like which algorithm we have to use, with which data you have to learn. All these things I have to tell actually. So machine learning algorithm plus whatever the data that we have prepared for our learning, those data we are going to give it actually, guys. So this is what we are going to call it as a machine learning model. When for a training, then machine learning model has learned from that particular data. That is what we are going to be talking about, the machine learning. How to do that, that we'll discuss it later application, guys. Right now, we are not going to be working on those particular applications, right? Fine. So that is the main step, guys, which the machine is going to do it actually. Machine is going to be, which is going to be done. The machine is going to be learned from like this only, guys. So this is the step where the machine is going to learn automatically by themselves with the help of some machine learning algorithm. And I'm going to be using some kind of a data, whatever the data I have been prepared here now. Machine learning algorithms, we don't write any code, guys. They're already pre-trained. There are going to be predefined algorithms only will be there. We don't write any algorithms. We don't write any logic. We don't write any functional code. Everything is already predefined. Somebody has already created the machine learning algorithms. Directly, we are going to use them actually. Now, once the machine has been trained, once the machine has been learned, what is the next step we have to do, guys? How much extent the model has learned? That means, okay, the machine has been learned, but how much extent you have been learned? How much extent whatever the learning is correct? We have to do some kind of an evaluation. So we are going to be doing some kind of an evaluation actually, guys. This is what we are going to call it as evaluation or what we are going to call it as testing of the machine learning model. Okay, so machine learning model is nothing but, I'll tell you later. Machine learning model is basically the machine which is going to be learned. How much extent this machine learning model has been learned, we have to evaluate actually. That is what we are going to call it as testing. Who is going to do this? Again, this is going to be done by the user. Only this is the only step, guys, which machine is going to do. That is the only step which the machine is going to do. But to make the machine to learn whatever the inputs it requires, everything we have to prepare it and we have to give it. And after the machine has been learned, how much extent the machine has been learned, or what extent the learning is going to be correct, all these things we have to evaluate the performance. That is what we are going to call it as evaluation or testing of the ML model. We are going to do that. How do you do that actually, guys? There are some mathematical numbers will be there. So there are going to be some kind of a mathematical numbers. There are some metrics will be there. There are going to be some kind of a numbers will be there, like something like what is the accuracy score? Okay. Or we are going to be having something called as an R squared model. Okay. Or we are going to be having something called as an mean squared error, mean absolute error. So many are there actually, guys. We are going to be having something called as an precision, or we are having a parameter called as a recall. We are having area under the curve, etc., etc. So there are some metrics are going to be there. There are some numbers. All these metrics are nothing but a very interesting numbers only, guys. So we are going to use a different terminologies. Just an example I'm telling about that. What is precision? How do you calculate the precision? Precision is calculated by a formulation of TP by which is going to be TP plus FP. Total out of the total positives, how many predicted? How many are going to be true positives? The TP stands for true positives. FP stands for which is going to be the false positives actually. What is the recall calculation? You don't worry, guys. Right now, you can't understand anything about that. It is TP by TP plus, which is going to be FN. Just for a timing, I'm explaining like these are some kind of a simple formulation will be there. Very interesting, very completely conceptual based. From an entry point of view, the most important is going to be these topics only, guys. So once if you develop a machine learning model, or once anybody has been trained a machine learning model, so how do you evaluate the model performance? How much extent it is working correctly? How much extent it has been learned? What it has been learned? All these things we have to evaluate it actually. That is what we call it as evaluation or testing of model performance or the machine learning model. Next, after that, what we have to do? Let us say that machine has been didn't learn properly, or it is not learning sufficiently. Then what we have to do? We have to improve the model performance. Improve the machine learning, whatever the model performance. There are some techniques are there actually, guys. There are going to be some kind of a techniques are there. Who is going to do that? That is also going to be done by the user. So how do you improve the model performance? For that, we are having a different techniques are there actually, guys. Like we have a concepts like which is going to be hyperparameter tuning is there. We are having a concept called as an hyperparameter tuning, and we are going to be having something called as there is a concept called as an ensemble techniques or ensemble learnings. We are going to be having it actually, guys. In ensemble techniques, we have a different options are there. Like we have a boosting, we are having a bagging, and we are going to be having a stacking. So these are all going to be some of the techniques which we are going to use to improve the model performance, which we are going to call it as the ensemble techniques actually. So just an ideas, guys, just to get some idea, I'm just giving some terminologies actually. So once the performance was improved, then at the last, what we are going to do, we are going to deploy the model. Whatever the machine learning model is there, we are going to deploy it actually, guys. We are going to deploy into some kind of an cloud storages. We are going to deploy it actually, guys. Here also, we are going to be deploying into some kind of a cloud storages. Who is going to do that? That is also going to be done by the users. So in a machine learning project lifecycle, guys, totally there are going to be 8 different type of stages are there, or 8 different type of which is going to be steps are there. First, as a user, you have to collect the data. As a user or an ML expert, you have to do some basic data analytics. Then we have to clean up the data. Then we have to visualize the data. Then we have to train the model. After that, we have to evaluate the model performance. After that, we have to improve the model performance. And finally, we have to perform the deployment of the machine learning model. Out of these 8 steps, guys, only one step is going to be done by the machine. This is the only step where the machine is going to comes, where the machine will comes and it is going to learn from the data based on the algorithm and based on the data I have been fed. Yes, anyone guys, any questions? Right, okay. So this is the only step where the machine is going to learn, guys. That where the machine is
खेलता एक दो शॉट तू
yeah guys, please guys, all of you please put your mics in mute, okay, so that we don't get any disturbance. If you have anything to speak, you can unmute and you can speak, guys. Otherwise, just you can please put your mic in the mute so that we don't get any the background the whatever the background sounds are coming from your side actually. Okay, fine. Let's continue, guys. So once again, guys, so we are going to be doing some kind of a data loading, data analytics, data cleansing, data visualization, training the machine learning models, okay, and evaluating of the model performance, improvement of model performance, and deployment of the machine learning models. All these we are going to be doing as a machine learning expert. We are going to do this. So to perform all these operations, sir, is it necessary to learn any tools? No, we are not going to use any tools or any softwares, guys. We are completely using a language called as the Python is a language what we are going to use this. Sir, why Python? Why not other languages? So many people ask me, sir, why can't you learn Java or why can't you use Java for machine learning? Can you use it? Yes, we can use it actually, guys, but more and more complicated. It becomes more complicated actually, guys. The reason why we prefer the Python is going to be the Python is a language which is a very simple language, very easy to learn and very easy to use. It's very easy to learn as well as very easy to use also, guys. The first thing. Second thing is Python provides you all these functionalities, guys. Whenever I want to read the data from a file, Python is having one functionality. Python says that you don't write any code. You don't write any code. Already have a functionality. So already I've created one utility for you. Use that utilities. Do you want to do some data analytics? You need not to write any code. No single line of code also, you need not to write it. Simply, there is going to be some utilities with me. You can directly use the utilities and you can do the data analytics. Do you want to do the data cleansing? You don't require any kind of a logic or code you have to write. We already have the utilities. Do you want to use the data visualization? Yes, you do it in Python. Do you want to do some kind of a machine learning models? Yes, you can develop a machine learning models. You can train the machine learning models. Do you want to evaluate? Do you want to improve? Do you want to deploy? From end to end, whatever that is required, everything is provided by Python, guys. Everything is provided by the Python. So Python provides you each and every utility that is required to perform in a machine learning expert or a deep learning or AI. For every operation you want to do, there is a predefined utility in the Python. That is the reason why we are going to be using the Python actually, guys. So in Python, I can do the data collection. I can do the data analytics. I can do the data analytics actually, guys. I can do the data cleansing. I can do the data visualizations. Okay. So even I can do the training. I can do the, which is going to be evaluations. I can improve the model performance actually, guys, as well as deployment. Everything I can do it actually, guys. Everything I can do, all these things I can do with the help of a Python. Is there any other language similar to Python which can perform all these things? Yes, there is another popular language called as the R language is also available, guys. So as part of our course curriculum, we are going to be learning the Python along with R also. But we don't spend that much time in the R because one language is sufficient. It is good to have some knowledge about the other language also. So 1 week I'm going to spend the time on R. Remaining, the total classes will be going on the Python classes itself. Completely with the help of a Python only, we are going to use it actually, guys. And one of the major question from so many people comes is, sir, I don't have any knowledge of any programming language. So is it possible to learn the Python? Absolutely, the answer is yes, guys. So it is 100%, not 100%, it is 200%, you can say that. Python is a programming language, but actually they says that it is a programming language, but as a user, as an implementation of the Python, we say that Python is not a simple programming language. It's not a language at all, actually, guys. So language means, don't think that like a C program, you are going to write a main method. After that, we are going to write some code and you are going to compile, you are going to execute. All that work is not required, guys. Simply write down some script and just execute it. Directly they will be executed. No saving of files, no need to compile the program, no need to go into do all that executions. Directly just run the code, the program is going to be executed. That's it. You don't write any code for that. You don't write any logics. We don't write anything else. So just only, that means really maybe so many people think that, so really is it possible? So you have to wait up to the main classes, then automatically you will understand it. But just to clarify it before starting the sessions itself, let me show you one small examples actually, guys. So don't worry what examples I'm doing. Don't worry about those applications, guys. Don't worry about those applications, guys. So what I'm using also, don't worry. I'm using something called as an Jupyter notebook. Okay, what is this Jupyter notebook? Why should I use it? How it will comes into your system? I'll explain it. Okay, don't try, don't try to install the software actually, guys. So searching in the internet like what is Jupyter notebook, and don't try to install it. This is my Jupyter notebook, guys. See, guys, it's a Jupyter notebook. Simply we'll write the code and simply we are going to run the code here itself, guys. Okay, so don't worry about that. Let me import some libraries, guys. Don't worry. Import which is matplotlib dot which is going to be pyplot as plt. Don't write it, don't worry about anything actually, guys. I imported some libraries, guys. Just like in C language we do it, no? Hash include stdio.h, hash include which is going to be math.h. Maybe if you guys has done some Java, so we are going to say import java.utils, java.lang. Which is going to be utils. Something you are going to import some libraries, no? Same as it is. There is a library called as a matplotlib which used it for data visualization. I imported it actually, guys. See, guys, how simple it is possible. Sir, is it possible to do this kind of an visualization anywhere? Simple, guys. Plt dot which is going to be just an example, guys. Plt dot which is going to be a bar. Don't worry about that. X is equal to some jan. Just I'm not writing any code actually, guys. Don't think that this is going to be a code. This is going to be just which is going to be some kind of a script. I'm writing it actually, guys. Just I'm going to be writing some kind of an data. It's calling a function only, guys. Height is equal to, let us say, like in Jan, how many sales I have been got done? Let us say 200. In the February, I have sold only 140 laptops. Let us say it is a sales of a laptops actually. In month of January, I sold 200 laptops. In February, I have sold which is going to be 140 laptops. In March, I have been, let us say that it is going to be 180 laptops I have been got purchased. I have been sold. This is going to be plt.show. See, guys, how simple the code is going to be there. How simple the code is going to be there. This is a data visualization actually, guys. See, guys, I didn't written any logic. I didn't written any code. Don't think that this is a code actually, guys. This is not a code. We are calling the function called as a bar. We are calling the function called as a bar. Just if you pass the inputs, like what is on x-axis, what is the height of the bar, if you specify, that is going to be sufficient. Do you want to change the colors? We can change the colors actually, guys. You can change your colors actually, guys. Whatever the colors you require, you can change the colors. Every customization is possible, guys. Every customization is going to be possible actually, guys. Whatever the colors you require, you can change it actually. R stands for which is going to be red. It is going to be K. K is going to be stands for which is going to be black. Like that actually, guys. We are having a different the applications and different colors what we are going to be having it actually. See guys, how we are going to be getting the outputs without writing any logic. I didn't written any lengthy logic actually. Maybe if I show this output to a Java programmer and ask it to write a program, he thinks that he has to write a lot of code, but only just one line of code for importing the library and just one line of code, 1 or 2 lines of code calling the function and doing the application, guys. That's it. That's it actually, guys. Apart from that, nothing is going to be there. Throughout the Python concept is like this only, guys. Learning Python means we don't learn any logics actually, guys. We don't learn any logics. We don't learn any functional code. We don't write any functional code. For every operation you want to do, there is going to be some functionality will be there. There is going to be some functionalities will be there. Don't worry. Let us say that I want to do a matrix multiplication actually, guys. Just an example. I want to do a matrix multiplication. You all of you know how to do a matrix multiplication, dot product. For example, if I want to do this multiplication actually, guys, just an example. It is 10, 11, 12, and 13. If I want to do a dot product between them, hope all of you know how to do a dot product actually, guys. First row and the first column, 1 into 10, which is going to be plus 2 into 12. Okay, 1 into 11 plus 2 into 13, isn't it? We are going to do like this actually, guys. 3 into 10 plus 4 into 12 and 3 into 11 plus which is going to be 4 into 13. Maybe if anybody will try to write this code in Java or something like that, Java or C, if you write it, we have to write a lengthy code. We have to write in this. You really have to write a lengthy code. But in Python, it is only just 3 lines of code actually, guys. One line of code is to define this matrix. Second line of code is to define the second matrix. And third line of code, which is going to be just to perform what is going to be the dot product between the M1 and M2, only just a 3 lines of code. But how to define the array, how to define that matrix, that is a different case actually. For that, we have to import a library. So for that, I'm going to be using just, it is only to show you guys like how simple the concept is going to be there. For that, we are going to be importing a library called as an NumPy. Don't worry about that, guys. NumPy stands for numerical Python. See guys, how simple it is going to be. How simple it is going to be. Even I don't write any code actually, guys. I don't write any particular code. For every operation I want to do, there is going to be some kind of a functionality is there actually, guys. Don't worry what code I'm writing. Don't worry about that. This is going to be your M1. See guys, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like a mathematics, you don't get a single square brackets actually, guys. It is not going to get a single square bracket won't come actually, guys, isn't it? So it is going to be something which is going to be slightly different. So this is the way which we are going to be getting the output is going to be coming like this actually, guys. Okay. So this is going to be all about how we are going to be working with that. Next one, which is going to be, I'm showing the application, guys. It is going to be the same process from where you have to start 11 to which is 15. I'm going to be saying that or 10 to 13 actually, guys. It is going to be 10 to 13. 10 to 13 means 10 to 14 we have to say. Again, that is also I'm going to be reshaping into a 2 by 2 matrix. This is M2. So that is M1 and this is going to be M2 actually, guys. 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Sorry. Okay. So this is the data actually, guys. Now, how do you multiply both of them? M1 dot, we are having M2. Done, guys, over. So one line of code for defining the matrix M1, one line of code for defining the matrix M2, one line of code to do the, which is going to be dot product. 1 into 10, which is 10 plus 2 into 12, 24. 24 plus 10 is 34. You got the result. Same result, guys. 2 into 13 is going to be 26. 26 plus 11 is going to be 37. So we got the output. So see, guys, same code if you want to write it in. Same code if you write it in something like any Java or something like that. We have to write a lengthy code. We have to write it actually, guys. We have to really write some kind of a lengthy code what we have to write it actually, guys, isn't it? So that is going to be how we are going to be gets working with this kind of an applications what we are talking about them, guys. Okay, so that is going to be the basically the idea of how we are going to be gets working with this particular code. Just I want to show you guys how simple the coding is going to be. How simple the coding is going to be to make you understand So this is the one which I have been discussing about that. But anyhow, all these things we are going to see in our actual classes. We are going to be working with them, guys. This is a Jupyter notebook, what I'm going to call it as. How to get this Jupyter notebook later, we are going to see how to get the Jupyter notebook into your system. We'll see it in our later classes, guys. Okay, so that is going to be my second discussion actually, guys. This is my second day of discussion. So yesterday I told you about a little bit concepts about what is machine learning. I said that machine is going to learn from the data. Based on the insights, the machine is going to be predicts the future. But how it is going to learn, for that I explained the concept actually, guys. What concept I have been explained, guys? So though the machine is going to learn by itself, machine can't learn it by automatically by itself actually, guys. We have to provide some input from our side. So we have to collect the data. We have to analyze the data. Sometimes the data cleansing is required. Some kind of a data visualization, training the data model or training the machine learning model, evaluation and improving, and finally the deployment process. Just if you want, as I told you, guys, you can ask every question actually, guys. I told you yesterday also, it is going to be ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is one of the success story of AI. It was developed by a community called as an open AI community, guys. It is completely the AI based application. It is a completely an AI based application, guys. So what are the steps? What are the steps in steps for implementing? Let us say, guys, for implementing, which is going to be the machine learning. Which is going to be what are the steps for implementing the machine learning? I'm asking the question actually, guys. So you can see a lot of steps we are going to be having, but what are the main important steps actually, guys? It's taking some time. Sometimes it will be busy actually, guys. The ChatGPT will be very busy for that. Sometimes it may not answer it properly. Let us wait for some time. Or otherwise, we will do the Google search. Right? It has been responding, guys. It has been responding actually, guys. So see, guys. Okay. So what are the main, there are so many steps are there actually. These are all some kind of a technical steps, but we'll see that later. But some of the applications, what we can see it actually, yes. So actually the first one is problem definition. The problem definition is depending on your problem actually, guys. But can you see, guys? First step is going to be, the second step is going to be some kind of a data collection actually, guys. After that, I told you there is going to be some kind of a data pre-processing that involves the cleaning and preparing the data for use in machine learning models. These steps include a data cleansing, data normalization, feature selection, okay, feature engineering. And after that, we have to do some model selection. So which machine learning model we have to use? There are different types of machine learning models actually, guys. And after that, I told you, guys, model training. That is what we call it as the train the model actually, guys. That is what we call it as model training. Okay, after the model training was done, we have to evaluate the model performance. So this is not my answers actually, guys. These are the ChatGPT, which is going to be the AI-based language model, which was developed actually, guys. Okay, so that is going to be, so that is going to be what I'm talking about that. And after that, model evaluation actually, guys. Evaluate the model performance of the model using the test set data that was not using some, later I'll tell you. And after that, we can see the model deployment. See, guys, I told like somewhere around 8 steps I told you about that. So it is saying that it is going to be 7 to 8 steps it is telling actually. Even model maintenance and model monitoring is also going to be required. Okay. So whatever it may be the steps, but most of the steps are going to be matching actually, guys. But some of the steps are going to be too early to discuss with you. That's why I didn't discuss about them. Okay. So, but remaining models, we can see it actually, guys, except the problem definition and except the model monitoring and maintenance, remaining steps are the same. Data collection, data pre-processing, model selection, model training is required, model evaluation, model deployment is going to be required. Guys. Okay. But how to do all these things practically, we'll see it in our actual course curriculum. Regarding our main classes, we are going to start with that. We'll see all that particular process, whatever we are going to do. But how to do all those work we are going to be doing with the help of the Python only. We are going to do it actually, guys. With the help of the Python, we are going to do it actually, guys. Okay. So completely whatever the Python that is going to be required, we are going to be using that particular concepts, and we are going to be learning those applications actually, yes. Okay. So this is going to be the one what we are going to be talking about. My second introduction part, my second class of discussion regarding some kind of an, which is going to be the second concept which we have been got in with regarding this particular application. We are talking about this, guys. Okay. So that is about my second session, guys. And with this particular, with this discussion, let us stop the today's discussion, guys. 5-10 minutes, I'll take up the questions if anybody having any questions also. And anyhow, tomorrow also, I told you, guys, I'll take another demo session, which is going to be some kind of an, some information about some little bit more about that. Tomorrow also we'll have a discussion, another 1 or 2 classes, and then I'll start with my regular classes. We'll start with them, guys. Okay, fine. So that's it from the today's class, guys. If you have any questions, you can feel free to discuss it actually, guys.
Hey, hi,
Yes.
Vamsi. This is Ajit.
Yeah, Ajit.
So, Vamsi, basically, I'm an QA consultant. So, if I join this session, will it be feasible for me for the career growth, or any challenges will be come out during this
That
course
is,
of?
yeah, I got it. I got your question. See, challenging is going to be 2 things here now. One is going to be learning challenge. One is going to be your interview. Okay. So as part of the learning challenge, everybody will be having the same challenges. So whether you are from QA, whether you are from Java, whether you are from some other thing, generally it's not in that much, it's not that much complicated one, but you guys are having some knowledge about Python, etc. Easily we can understand the concept, but it's not a mandatory. Anyhow, I'm going to teach you the Python starting from the basics. So for learning procedure, as part of the learning challenges, so whatever that whatever the assignments, whatever the tasks we are going to be discussing, that is completely the practical challenges we are going to be discussing. We have to handle how to handle. You are going to do some hands-on. Second thing is you are already you're having some experience, right? You're already having an experience. So okay, put it aside. How much years of experience you are having? Put it aside. But whenever we are going for an interview, when you are applying for a job, you cannot put all your experience as a machine learning expert or as a data scientist, right?
Correct.
Correct. So let us say that you are putting, for example, you're having a 5 years of experience. So automatically what generally you're going to do that maybe 3 years as a QA and 2 years, maybe you are going to put an experience on the data science, maybe. Then the main challenging question here is why you have moved from QA to here, or what is the necessity? Why you have moved here? That is the one question you have to answer it.
Yeah, perfect, Vamsi. Because I have around 13 years of experience.
You 13 years of experience. So why you have moved? The first thing is what is the reason you have been moved? Everybody is saying that. Generally, if I ask you the question also now, why you are moving? Forget about the interview. If I ask you why you are planning to move from QA, from 13 years of experience, now why you are moving that? So obviously your answer is going to be what? So
my
this
answer
is going to
would
be
kind of due
it's
to the lack
currently
of
the trending.
Yeah, trending and lack of opportunity in the QA field.
Correct, in a QA field, obviously. That is the reason. Yeah. So why don't you choose another one? So which is relevant to some QA only. So this is one of the latest technology, one of the trending technology, which we have a good opportunities. So nowadays companies has been completely, they are ignoring like what is your previous experience. Whether you have worked as a QA or something, nowadays nowadays even the marks, how much marks you have got in 10 standard, how much marks you have got in 10+2. So completely they have been that is not considered at all. Now almost all it is going to be simple. So do you know the concept? Do you have the expertise? So even if you're not expertise, do you have the ability to learn once you enter into the organizations? So only thing is the smartness, the learning capability only they are looking. Whether you are not experienced also not a problem at all. So some of the few questions like why you have been a transition from QA to this one, that is one thing you have to explain in the interview. That is only HR level interview. Nobody will ask you about technically, they don't ask about. Technical round is whether you have a knowledge or not. So hands-on practice is required. What are the different real-time issues you are going to get, how to solve them, how to handle them. Once if you know that, technical interview is fine. Same as it is HR interview. There it is completely depend on your past experience and all these things that has to be there, that you have to handle it by yourself.
And Vamsi, under this course, what is the course duration and what is the topics and the content will be provided?
Yes,
How
yes.
the
I'll
structure
do
would
that.
be?
I'll do that in the tomorrow's class.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all from
But,
my side, Vamsi.
yeah,
Thank you.
but just a quick idea to give you. So what are the prerequisites to learn like Python? After that, I told you about like NumPy, Pandas, machine learning, deep learning, AI, NLP. Okay, like even we are having some kind of a big data systems, and we are going to be having a Power BI. So anyhow, we have a topic of discussions are there. So in the next class, I'm going to show you that particular discussions, like how the classes will be there, what will be provided from my side, what you have to do from your side. So tomorrow is going to be completely like an how our course curriculum is going to be there, how our training is going to be taking place. So tomorrow, please attend the tomorrow's class. You will come to get a complete idea about how we are going to be learning the things.
Sure, Vamsi. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Yes. Somebody has been posted some question. Let me check it out. Right. So I completed 10 years ago and I don't have any work experience. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Vijay Shanti, you can apply them, but you have to explain the reason, like you have to satisfy the reason, like why you have been taken the 10 years gap and what is the reason why you are going to be starting your career actually. Or otherwise, there is some other ways to handle it also. So instead of out of 10 years, you can just cover up some 5 years with some other technology, or out of the 5 years you can put, because total 10 years you cannot put a fake experience. So 5 years you can say that 3 years on something like Java or some other thing, and the 2 years or 3 years or 2 years or 2.5 years of experience on the data science. So nowadays the companies are looking, as of the current market trend, the companies do not have a clear candidates who are having a complete experience on machine learning, because we know that that is one of the latest technology. So really we don't find a person who is having a 10 years experience on machine learning, but the candidate should have some knowledge of machine learning, some expertise on machine learning. But once if you enter into the organization, whether you are having the capability to implement those things or not, they are going to check out that actually. Okay, so that is a little bit a complicated work, but you have 10 years ago you have completed, no? So a little bit there is going to be some time, we have to fill the gaps. We have to put some other technology as a fake experience, and then you have to attend the interviews. Okay, but you are eligible for interviews, but whether they will take or not, that depends on that. But you are eligible for the job interviews. That is not a matter about that. Okay, yes. Is deep learning or artificial intelligence is deep learning artificial intelligence network has same life cycle as machine learning? Absolutely. So deep learning also is going to be having the same thing. I told you, the algorithm is going to change us actually. So where I am using some machine learning algorithms, you will be having a deep learning algorithm, but the cycle is the same cycle only. Okay, fine. That's it actually, guys. Right. Anyone,
Yeah,
guys?
hi,
Any
I
more
have a
question?
I have a quick question,
Yes,
a
yes,
small
yes.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding the data science is the highest level of learning, right? From data analyst to data
Obviously.
engineering, everything.
Yes, yes, yes.
So in this curriculum, you are going to explain regarding nowadays DevOps is currently trending, right?
Yeah.
We have any integrations with AWS or Azure one?
Towards the DevOps.
Yes. And like integrations like Git kind of tools
We
with
have a Git is there, but we're not going to be using any DevOps related, because that is a little bit out of our discussions actually. But I will try to find it off. Even see myself also. Obviously, what I will do is, as part of the candidates requirements also, I will be just checking out like, okay, so somebody has asked about something like a DevOps, how it is going to be, because I was not a software engineer basically. I was into the completely my data analyst and a data business intelligence. So we never used the DevOps related applications from my side actually. But anyhow, if you want any inputs or anything stuff from my side, I can really guide you or I can help you regarding that. But I'll try to find it off. At least some basic knowledge of how the integration, all these things is going to be taking place. I'll also try to find it off.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, fine. Right. Government organization does not hire. Okay. But only the thing is what the government organizations will do if they really require. See, government organizations also requires the data analytics, but what they will do is they are going to give all the contract to the companies, to the private companies. So directly they don't take the job as part of a government organizations, but they are going to give the contract to the companies, like whatever the multinational companies, they are going to be working for the government organization as their clients. So directly in government organizations, we don't have the software jobs are not available in the government organizations. So who is going to develop the software for the government organization? Some company. So the client is going to be the government, but the whatever the application developer is going to be there, it's a software company. They will give a contract to them. Okay, fine. Right, guys. Okay. So thanks for today, guys, for attending this session. So I'll see you tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll explain the course curriculum, guys, so that you can get some idea about like what concepts we are going to be learning, how about our learning journey, what I will contribute, what you have to contribute to the session. So all these things we'll be discussing in the tomorrow's class, guys. Okay. So thanks for attending the today's session, guys. So I'll see you tomorrow, same time and the same link. Thank you all of you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.